All right, sports fans, welcome into episode the GT Sports podcast. We keep it 100 here. My name is Gabriel Trevino. Wanted to come out here on this Monday evening and talk about a little bit of professional topics, a little bit of NBA, a little bit of the NFL, and I think some boxing we have for you tonight. Just kind of give you my thoughts on what I've seen in the NBA. Obviously, boxing, a big boxing match that took place over the weekend, and then some NFL stuff, some coaches being hired, and of course the Super Bowl is starting up this week, Monday, going into Sunday. So we're not gonna talk too much about the Super Bowl at all today, but I will be back tomorrow, Tuesday, and we'll talk about it then and Wednesday and so forth as we get closer to Super Bowl Sunday. But again, this video will be uploaded on the full podcast. You can catch it on Discord, and I upload it there on one of my channels. It's the GT Sports 100. So I'll be sending out some links if you guys are interested in talking professional college sports, wrestling. Then definitely let me know, and I'll send you an invite or find me on Discord. It's GT Sports, and the channel is GT Sports 100 again. So and it'll also be on Spotify and on YouTube. That's GT Sports. So let's go ahead and get started here with a couple of topics that I have. The first one, we'll talk a little bit of NFL, right? And so rumors are that I think it's Klint Kubiak, the offensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks, apparently will be the next head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. At least that's what all reports point to. I got to tell you, I like that hire by the Raiders. I think you've seen the job that he's done offensively with the Seattle Seahawks and Sam Darnold. I mean, the year that he's had, obviously he was a hot topic, a coordinator that a lot of people were looking at, and I think that's a good pick for the Raiders. When the Raiders, when they went and got Pete Carroll last year, I thought, man, wow, what a! I thought it was a bad decision. Number one, not because I think Pete Carroll's a bad coach. Obviously, he had a great career in college and the pros, but at his age, I didn't see him long term staying with the Raiders. I think the Raiders needed a lot. They needed to get. I felt like the right head coach. Gruden gone, Daniels gone. I think it was Antonio Pierce gone, and then Pete Carroll. I'm like, wow, man, this is getting worse. It's not getting any better. I said, talking conversations with my sports buddies. I said, listen, man, they've got to go young, right? They don't have a quarterback. I didn't think Geno Smith was the answer for them. But I thought, they've got some pieces. They've got a great running back, young guy in Genty. They got Brock Bowers, tight end, Max Crosby on the defensive side. So they have some pieces, right? And I said, they need a young coach, someone that is going to take them 2-3 years to build, to draft. And I felt a young coordinator or a young guy could come in and be the head coach, but one that I think could build, because I think the Raiders needed to build up. And so I didn't like the Pete Carroll hire for the Raiders. I thought there was a wasted year. So Klint Kubiak obviously coming in, if he wins the Super Bowl, right, man, what a choice to make him your next head coach. But with some of the pieces that are there, right, and you give him 3 to 5 years, I think he can build the Raiders back to playoff contentions, right? Remember, they're in a division with the Chargers, with the Broncos. The Broncos aren't going anywhere, and then Patrick Mahomes will be back next year for Kansas City. So they're in a very tough division, and so you need a coach that's not one and done or two and done. That doesn't work. Someone that's gonna stick around. Maybe a tough year next year, but eventually, they'll continue to build. Stick with that one coach, and help you build. And I think this coach is the right pick if reports are all correct, right? And it points to Kubiak being the next head coach. I like that for the Raiders. And then look, you got the number one pick, right? And everything points to going out and getting Fernando Mendoza as your your quarterback, which some people think that's the right pick. Some people think it's not the right pick. I think it's a good pick. I mean, look, the guy won the championship, right? Went undefeated. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. So if they go out and get Mendoza, and then you get a young coach who you just saw what he did with Sam Darnold can develop Mendoza, which I think he's the right guy. Then the Raiders are going to win more games next year than they did this year. I mean, I think they're on the right track. So right now, I like Kubiak as the next head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. And I hope they go out and get Mendoza, man. And I think they're already on the right track, right? And I hope Kubiak will get that 3 to 5 years, 3 to 4 years to build. And let's see what he does year after year. Give him 3 years and see where he's at with the Raiders. But I think it's a great pick as a coach, and everything points that they're going to go out and get Mendoza. So yeah, in a tough division, I think the Raiders are definitely on the right track. Give them about another 2 3 years with this coach, and I think they're going to be battling for a division title. Look, I love competition, right? So when you got Denver, that's good. The Chargers were in the playoffs this year. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to be back strong next year in those Kansas City Chiefs, and then you get the Raiders. I mean, they all play each other twice a year, right? I mean, that's must see football. So I like the pick, and let's see how all that goes. But I definitely like Klint Kubiak going to the Las Vegas Raiders. I thought Mark Davis, Tom Brady, whoever had the decision in bringing him in made the right choice. I like this guy. I think he's going to do good for the Las Vegas Raiders. Then the other coach that's hits some news. The Arizona Cardinals have hired LA Rams offensive coordinator Mike La Fleur as their next coach. Not anything against Mike La Fleur, right? But I don't think that was Arizona's top pick. You're right. It felt more to me like, okay, he's the only one left. We're gonna go out and get him. Now I'm not saying that's exactly how it happened. That's how it felt to me, right? Oh. It took a long time for them to come with a coach. And then as soon as Kubiak was hired, then they made the announcement. I think that, or at least that's how I heard it, that, we're going to go out and get LaFleur. So again, it felt like we got to go out and get him because he's the best one left available. I don't know if that was their first pick or not. It didn't feel that way to me. And I'm not saying that Mike LaFleur is the wrong pick. But remember, the Rams' success, he wasn't the play caller. It was Sean McVay. So how much input? I'm sure he had input, but how much input did he have in the play calling and the offense game after game? Um, as you saw that success for the Rams, I don't know. So it's gonna be very interesting to see what he can do. I mean, I'm glad he got the job getting another young coach who's getting an opportunity, which I think is great. There's some pieces there. I don't think they're quite set as the Raiders to me. Maybe they are. There's that dilemma with Kyler Murray. I said 2 years ago that Kyler Murray I thought was going to be out. I just felt like he was going to be, he was not going to be the future quarterback. There's rumors that he may not be there. I mean, Mike LaFleur has to make that decision if Kyler Murray's going to be his quarterback moving forward or they're going to go elsewhere. A lot of money invested in Kyler Murray, but I don't feel like that's a place where he's going to remain the quarterback long term for the Cardinals. So a lot uh, a lot of work for Mike LaFleur and Arizona in a tough division too. Seattle, who's going to the Super Bowl, probably going to win the Super Bowl, right? The Rams, depending on Stafford, they'll be tough. And then the 49ers, well, they were hurt. They'll be healthy next year with Brock Purdy. So it doesn't get easier. That's 8 games in the division for you against three playoff teams, right? One that could win the Super Bowl, and the other two that went pretty good in the playoffs. They're all going to come back and be strong next year. So an uphill battle for Mike LaFleur. Again, I like I mean, I'm glad he's getting an opportunity. I like to see young coaches get that opportunity, but I think that job is going to be tough for him. And the question for me with the Cardinals management front office is how long are you going to give this guy an opportunity? Because number one, huh, um, tough division, and got a quarterback decision, a big decision that needs to be made, and then you know it's an uphill battle. So you're not going to see success, I don't think, in the first year, maybe not in the second year, maybe in the third year. Are they going to give him that opportunity 3 years? Well, we'll see. But I think it's an uphill battle. But again, I'm glad he got an opportunity to be a head coach. That's what all these coordinators work for, to get an opportunity to be the head guy. So he definitely has that. We'll keep a close eye on him. So Mike La Fleur going to Arizona Cardinals, and Klint Kubiak going to the Raiders. So we'll talk more about that as more details develop on who they're going. If Kyler Murray's going to stay or go, are they going to go out and get Mendoza? A lot to still to talk about in the offseason. Let's jump over to the NBA. I watched a great game last night. Orlando Magic and the San Antonio Spurs. Spurs got that win over a really good Magic team, right? Victor Wembanyama, I think, had like 25 points. Listen, I watch the Spurs every night, right? First of all, I'm a Spurs fan, and I like what they've done. I like what Mitch Johnson, the head coach, has done with that team. It's a very young team. I like Dylan Harper coming off the bench. Keldon Johnson, man, that guy is he's a beast, man. Like he's a beast. Like he's strong. He can shoot the outside. He can drive to the basket. Tough guy to guard, right? So I like their bench, and Victor Wembanyama is getting a lot better. He's just going to continue to get better. I like the additions of Harrison Barnes and De'Aaron Fox. I like Castle. I just like the team, and I think that this team is. I didn't expect them to be top three in the West, especially going into the season, because I just thought, man, the West is tough. So the fact that they're there and they've been able to sustain that 1, 2, 3 says a lot about the coaching staff and a lot about the talent they have. So let me let me just go on the record and say I don't want them to trade, because I believe this team can win a championship. They might need another, experienced a player. Maybe they're one player away, but they definitely have all the pieces to win. They'll win like OKC did last year, right? So if I'm the San Antonio front office, which I have a lot of confidence in Popovich and Buford and what they do out there, because they know how to win championships because they've done it. They're going to make all the right moves. But this team, to me, it definitely is going to be contending for championships. If not this year, next year. Not now. This year, saying that, do I think that they can be OKC? I don't. Not in a series, and I'll tell you why. Not because they don't have the talent, or because they can't score with them. Because I think Wembanyama's better than Holmgren, and they got shooters. We got shooters. They maybe have a deeper bench, but we got a bench. I see too many leads. We get a big lead, and then we let teams back in, and we've lost some of those games. So I don't think that we still yet know how to win consistently. I think we can beat good teams. Obviously, we've beaten OKC 3 times this year, so we know we can beat any team in the NBA. But when you get into the playoffs, it's series, right? It's back to backs. It's the best out of seven. Whoever wins four first. And I still see at times we play great, and we don't finish the game, right? We've lost games at the end. We've allowed teams to get back. We've lost their leads. I like that we shoot the 3-point shot. We've got a lot of guys that can shoot the three, but I think sometimes we fall in love with that three, and when they don't go in, we keep shooting, and that allows teams to come back, make it a game, and at times they win. So that's my concern. I still think we got to learn how to win consistently. We need to learn when we have these leads for that San Antonio Spurs, teams are going to make a run at you, and you still got to be able to find that way to withstand those runs and still win by three or four. The great teams, we've seen teams come back. It's the NBA. All teams are good, right? So they'll make runs that you might be up 15 in the fourth, and then you're in a game. You're up by three. You're up by two. You're up by four. But those great teams, those championship teams, find a way to win the game. Teams will come back at you. They'll make runs at you. But the championship teams, the good teams, they still find a way to make a bucket when they need to, and they still win by 3 or 4 points. The Spurs, I'm not saying haven't won games, but they've allowed teams back in games when they've had, I thought, the game in hand, and then they've lost those games. So that they still have to learn that, right? Because I don't think you can win allowing teams to come back to the point where they beat you, right? You have them down by 15 and they end up winning the game in the fourth. So that's something I think I've seen that they need to learn. But outside of that, I think it's something they will learn. They have the pieces. They'll continue to get better. And look, this team is going to be good, right? Minnesota's young. If they go out and make a trade for Giannis, man, what is that going to look like with Anthony Edwards and Giannis? Oh my goodness, they jumped to the very very top. I think up there at least with the top teams in the West. Denver, you can never count Denver out, right? Jokic is back. Uh, Murray, and so they're there. The Spurs, Oklahoma City, Houston, right? These are the teams, and I think it's open. I mean, I think OKC is the odds on favorite, right, to win it. But I think it's not going to be easy if they repeat, right? They got to beat those teams, and it's not going to be no easy task. So I watch the NBA consistently all the time. I think when Kyrie Irving gets back from Dallas, you see what Cooper Flag is doing out there. And I don't know if they're going to keep Anthony Davis or not, but Dallas next year will definitely be a lot better when Kyrie Irving comes back. We'll see what they do with Davis. John Morant in Memphis, is he going to get traded? Is he not? I mean, I don't know. So still a lot there. But for the Spurs, I like what they're doing. I think they're going to make the playoffs unless they just completely fall apart. I don't see that happening. But in the playoffs, they're going to have to be able, when they get these leads, they're going to teams are going to run on them. They're going to have to find a way to win those games, right? Because in the playoffs, if you're up by 15 and you end up losing game three, game four, when you have a lead, that could determine those games are so important whether you win the series or not. So I haven't seen that from them yet. I don't know if they're capable of doing that yet, but I definitely like where they're at, where they're going. And I just like the fact that we're winning more games than losing. And I get really excited when I'm going to be able to see them in the playoffs. So we'll see what happens. But it was a great win as they beat a really good Orlando Magic team. Then you go to Oklahoma City. They were playing Denver. OKC got that win. But again, a lot of injuries. Jokic was back. The Joker was back. But they had a lot of injuries. They had about 2 or 3 players, Denver, that had some injuries. So they were not at full capacity. Neither was OKC. They had a lot of injuries as well. So a great win for OKC, but again, I want to see both of these teams when they are at full strength, both Denver and OKC. But that's going to be a battle, man. Can you imagine those teams playing in a playoff game? I mean, it goes 7, man. Like that's must watch basketball because it's going to be great, man. SGA, the Joker. It didn't get no better than that, right? So I love competition. And we'll see. They'll probably end up meeting up in the playoffs, but it's going to be good. OKC gets that win over Denver, and then you had the Lakers and the Knicks. I watched that game as well. They were playing in New York. The Knicks get the win over the Lakers. You know, to me, let's go to the Knicks first, right? Like the Knicks should be the favorite to come out of the East. Um, I don't know if I like um the Knicks are the favorite, right? But you got Philadelphia. Philadelphia, they're scary. Look, to me, a healthy Embiid, a healthy Tyronn Maxey. We'll see what happens with Paul George, but um, they'll be. I don't think anybody wants to play Philadelphia because whatever their record is, if they get in, they can beat anybody in the East. They can beat anybody. They could be the Knicks. I don't know that they'd be the favorite, but if I'm New York, I'd definitely be scared to play Philadelphia in the playoffs. But Orlando, I don't think they're good enough to come out of the East this year. Cleveland, very inconsistent. At times they play very well. At times they look horrible. I don't think they're the best team in the East. Detroit is another story. Still young, but very, very good. So, I like Philadelphia, Detroit, or New York to come out of the East. But definitely New York. I don't like their record. I think they've lost some games they should have won, but they have the talent out there. So I would have to say they're the favorite. But a big win over the Lakers. The Lakers, to me, Austin Reeves is out. Obviously, that's huge offensively for the Lakers, because when he comes back, he's going to give you those 15 to 20 points that they're not getting now. But I'll tell you, in watching that game between the Knicks and the Lakers, LeBron James, man. I mean, that guy for his age played great, right? I don't know that anybody else could do what he does at his age. He's still flying around, dunking. Just amazing to see him play at that level. And obviously, LeBron can't play like that every game, right? I mean, he's in his 40s, I think so. Every game he can't do that, but to be able to still play at that high level in the NBA and play the way he plays, man, like kudos to you, LeBron, because no matter what you say, is he the GOAT, is he not the GOAT? I mean, everybody knows how I feel about the GOAT. I mean, to me, Michael's the best player, but that's no hit on LeBron. But man, they couldn't do what LeBron's doing at this age. It's just amazing to see this guy play the way he plays at his age, at the highest level in basketball. He hasn't lost a beat. He hasn't lost a step, man. And look, will he be back with the Lakers next year? I don't think he will. I think the Lakers, if they want to move into the Luka Doncic area, LeBron has to go. Forget the money. He just has to go elsewhere. I think he will. I don't think he'll be a Laker next year. Cleveland could be an option for him if he still wants to play. I could see Cleveland making a push to get LeBron. And at the way he's playing, right? I don't know. I mean, then Cleveland becomes dangerous, right? Because because LeBron isn't going to hurt your team, right? He's going to help your team the way he's playing. Again, can't carry the team, and with Cleveland, he wouldn't have to carry the team, right? They've got young guys, but just the addition of LeBron and what he could do would definitely elevate the Cavaliers. Now, if he were to go to another team, would they pay him like what he's getting paid now in that 50 million? I wouldn't. I mean, he's just not that guy no more, right? Would LeBron take a cut and pay? I don't know what all that would look like. That's the financial part that needs to be figured out. But definitely, LeBron can play still at a high level in the NBA in this league. Now, I don't like them. Luka Doncic, they can't play defense. DeAndre Ayton played great, I thought. Marcus Smart, Austin Reeves, like I said, will give them a push when he gets back offensively. But they're just not good defensively. And in the West, you got that high power Oklahoma City, Houston, San Antonio, uh, Minnesota, Denver. I mean, you got these teams that just score at a high pace, right? And they can't play defense. So they can't stop very many people. So they got to outscore you. And I don't know that they have the team to outscore these guys, especially. I mean, they got enough for one game, or they can beat any of those teams on any given night. But in a series, that changes things, right? You got to play um, 7 games, and sometimes it's one, and then it's off, and then one. And I just don't think they have enough to beat the elite team. So, they may get into the playoffs. I think that they will, but I don't think they're gonna make a lot of noise here because defensively they're not very good. They got to go out there and get some defensive players. We'll see what happens. Offensively, they can score with anybody. But so can other teams, right? So when you say, well, we get Austin Reeves back, LeBron's playing at a high level, Luka Doncic is Luka Doncic, man, we can score. They can, but so can other teams. Houston can score. San Antonio can score. OKC can score. Denver can score. So other teams can score like you. It's, can you play defense? Can you stop those other elite uh, teams and players when you need a stop? And more times than not, I don't think the Lakers can do that. And that's why I never had them picked to be in the Western Conference Finals for the reason that I don't think that they can play defense and stop those high power offense. Just my opinion. We'll see what happens. But they took the loss to New York. Kudos to New York, but both of those teams I think will be in the playoffs. And then let's talk a little bit about Philadelphia 76ers. We were talking about them. Paul George, 25 game suspension. To me, when I first heard that, I was like, well, how much does that hurt Philly? Right? How much does that hurt Philadelphia? Right? Joel Embiid is the dude. Tyrese Maxey. I mean, I think it does hurt to some extent. The Paul George isn't there, but what did you really lose, right? He'll be back. I mean, I think you need a Paul George to get into the playoffs. I think he can help you, not hurt you. But what did you really lose those 25 games? I mean, he's come back. He's not your go-to guy. That's Joel Embiid. That's Tyrese Maxey. So I don't think they lost anything. I mean, as far as these 25 games, they're trying to catch up. I still think they can do that. In other words, the loss of Paul George, I don't think it's because or we lost these last 7 games because we didn't have Paul George. If you lose, you lose. I don't think it really. I don't think him not being on the court had an impact. Obviously, if you can get him on the court, he can help you. But losing him for 25 games isn't going to make a difference whether Philadelphia can continue to climb up the ladder in the East. So, an unfortunate situation for Paul George for the 25 game suspension, but I don't think it hurts Philadelphia in any way as far as these next 25 games if they win or lose because they don't have him. I think they can still go out there and beat the competition because the other players, the key players, are still there. So I don't think losing Paul George is going to hurt them in any way. Of course, when Paul George gets back, obviously you want him on the team because those 12, 15 points obviously matter. He's an experienced player. When healthy, he can help you win. But I wouldn't say that because we don't have him, we're going to lose these games. They can still win without Paul George. We'll see how that happens. But Paul George definitely out for 25 games. Wow. And then let's go to boxing. And I was watching the Teofimo Lopez fight against Shakur Stevenson. I thought it was going to be better, man. Stevenson really put it to him. Right? Like it was, man, it was just one of those fights where Stevenson, man, he's making a name for himself, right? Like he beat a good boxer, and I'm curious to see where Stevenson goes next. We'll keep a close eye. We'll talk about it more here on the 100 because the guy did something good, man, and he's coming. He's coming for you. So very interesting to see who's going to fight next and how far up he can climb here. But that was a great win by Stevenson. I thought I was actually going for Lopez. Uh, but Stevenson did a job on him, man. So we'll see how that goes. We'll talk more boxing as we continue the podcast here on the 100. Listen, the Super Bowl coming up on Sunday. Tomorrow I'll be back and we'll talk more about the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots. I'm not a Patriots fan, so I'm going to go for Seattle. That's who I'm rooting for. I'll let you know on Thursday who I'm going to pick, who I think is going to win. But I'm definitely rooting for Seattle. I hope that they are able to get another Super Bowl down there in the state of Washington. I will say this: both young coaches. I didn't see Seattle at the start of the season or New England in the Super Bowl. So that just tells you how good these coaches are. Young, but they know football. With one a young quarterback in Drake May, the other one is Sam Darnold, who played great this year. I think it's going to be a great Super Bowl, man. But just kudos to those coaches. No one really had them outside of maybe their own cities. Thought that they would be in the playoffs. I surely didn't have New England in the Super Bowl or Seattle, but here they are. So I think it's going to be a good Super Bowl again. I'm rooting for Seattle to win, but I'll let you know on Thursday who I think will win. And then I got into some tennis. I woke up was it Saturday morning, and I'm flipping through the channels, and I watched the men's semifinals. I think it was Fuller, and I just started watching. I watched tennis before, but I watched the match. It was great. And then of course I watched it on Sunday. Alcaraz, I think it was the last name, young guy, won the Australian Open. I think is what it was. But man, I watched it. I watched the sets, right? And I amazed myself because usually I watch a little bit and I'll flip it, but I didn't. I got really interested. So what I'm saying is I think I'm getting into tennis here, which is good. I've always liked seeing tennis. I haven't seen it in a while, but I do like watching. I mean, I can't play it. I wish I could, but I can't. but I can definitely watch it. So I'll be watching more tennis, and we'll be talking more tennis here. I didn't see the women's matches. I did read about who won, but I didn't see the women's. I did see the men's. But like I said, I watched it from beginning to end. So we're definitely going to be talking more tennis in the future here on the 100. But again, just wanted to come out and talk a little bit of football. Coaches hiring, some NBA. Tomorrow we'll talk Super Bowl. I also watched a little bit over the weekend. The NCAA, the women's basketball, UConn, um, Iowa, Texas, UCLA. Boy, UCLA's tough, man. I mean, listen. When the tournament starts, boy, I'm gonna be watching those games because I'm not too in tune. I do watch the guys, but I'm more in tune to what the women are doing. So I'll do both, but definitely when that tournament starts, man, I think that women's. I mean, UConn is tough, man. I don't know. Texas is good. UCLA is good. There's some good teams. I don't know how you're going to beat UConn. I mean, you only have to beat them once, right? There's not a series, so if you can beat them, if they have an off night and you're on, that's the thing with the tournament, right? It's not like a series where you can come back. Otherwise, I don't think anybody would beat UConn. But UConn can have an off night in the tournament, and if you're shooting and you're on that night, you can upset UConn, and it's as easy as they're out. But watching UConn, they just man, they just dominate, and they beat good teams by double digits, right? So UConn, obviously the team you got to beat. There are some good teams out there, but it's going to be tough, I think, to beat UConn. But that's the good part about watching these games. They're very interesting to watch, and you got some really good top 10 teams. So really enjoy watching that, paying a lot of attention to that. And then you've got softball coming up. Now I'm a big time Texas Lady Longhorns softball, the champs, right? So I saw some of the pitchers that they picked up, some young pitching, and then of course what's coming back. Those games I think start on Thursday, February 6th. I already got on my calendar, so we're definitely going to be talking on Wednesday and Thursday about softball, the upcoming season. We'll talk some college baseball as well. But again, man, I'm interested in watching some softball, just like tennis. As I started doing this podcast, I really got into softball. Before I did the podcast, I'd watch and read a little bit of it, but really never get into it. After 3 years of doing the podcast and talking sports and live streaming, man, I have gotten into softball. So the season starts February 6th. That's on Thursday. So we'll talk about it probably tomorrow and on Wednesday as we lead up to the season. But looking forward to a great season. Going to talk a lot of softball here on the 100. So thank you very much for tuning in again. If you want to see the full uh, uh, podcast, this podcast here, you can catch it on Discord, GT Sports, YouTube, GT Sports, or Spotify, on TikTok and Facebook. And I'll probably catch a little bit of clips. You can catch it. But if you want to see the entirety of this podcast, it's on Discord, it's on YouTube and Spotify. That's GT Sports. The channel is GT Sports 100. If you're interested, let me know. I'll send you the link or follow or look for me on Discord. Until then, thank you very much. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll talk Super Bowl and we'll talk softball, among other sports. Have a great evening, and I'll talk to you guys soon.